So for warm-up number 15, we're going to do number 2 first because I put it in the wrong order. Two functions are given below. How do they compare? So we have function f of x and g of x. So f of x has a negative 3x plus 1, and g of x has a negative 3x plus 4. So first of all, I forgot to mention the slopes are the same, right? F of x and g of x, our slopes, our m values are both negative 3, and our y-intercepts are different. We have a y-intercept of plus 1 and a y-intercept of plus 4. So option A says f of x is less steep than g of x. Well, steepness is talking about slope, and considering our slope here is exactly the same, negative 3, that is not our answer. F of x says that it has letter B says f of x has the same y-intercept as g of x. Well, we're talking about the y-intercepts, which is plus 1 and plus 4. And last I checked, 1 does not equal 4. So B is not the correct answer. Then we have C, says f of x is translated 3 units down from g of x. So they're saying g of x is our original function, and f of x is translated down 3 units. Well, because it's saying down, we're subtracting 3 from our y-intercepts, which does give us the f of x function. So our correct answer here is C. So that means D is out. In question number 1, which inequality is equivalent to 4x plus 2y is less than 4y plus 6? Well, I need to solve for y. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to split my equation where the inequality is and start to move my variables. So I want to move my y's to one side. So I'm going to subtract 4y from both sides. And I get 4x minus 2y is less than 6. Then I subtract 4x from both sides so I can move it to the other side of the equation. And I get negative 2y is less than negative 4x plus 6. And then I need to get rid of this negative 2, so I divide by negative 2 on both sides. And when I divide by negative 2, that means I have to flip that inequality sign. Remember, if I multiply or divide by a negative number in an inequality situation, I have to flip the sign. So then I get y is greater than 2x minus 3, which is letter C. Moving on to our function of the day, we have 3y is equal to 6x. So I need to rearrange to slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So that means I just have to divide by 3 on both sides, and y is equal to 2x. Well, if y is equal to 2 times x, it's going to be pretty easy for me to figure out what my x and y values are, because negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. I fill in my table, mark my point on my graph. Make sure you are graphing these functions. If you don't have the graph, you don't get full credit. I'm going to plug in 0 for x. Well, anything times 0 is going to be 0. So my y-intercept is 0, 0, which is the origin, and I plot my point. When I plug in 2 for x, 2 times 2 is 4. There's my point. And when I plug in 4 for x, I get 8, and I can't graph 4 and 8, and I can't graph f of 5 either, which is 5 and 10. All right, there's my line for my graph, connecting all of the points. Make sure you have arrows on the ends of your line because this is not a line segment. This is a function of a line, so it continues on forever. And we're going to move on to warm-up number 16. So it says if y is a function of x, y is equal to 2x minus 4, which of the following statements is true? So I notice in A it's talking about the independent variable and it's talking about y. Well, my x values talk about my input, my independent variable, and my domain. And my y values talk about my output, my dependent variable, and my range. And then, so if I see in letter A that the independent variable is talking about y, and my y value is the dependent variable, then I'm going to cross it out because they are not talking about the correct things. B and C are talking about the correct variable and using the right variable, so those are options. And then D I can cross out as well because it says dependent variable being x, and my x value is the independent variable. So I'm left with B and C. B says the dependent variable y is 4 less than 2 times the independent variable. So that would look like y is equal to 2x minus 4. And C would look like x is equal to 2y minus 4. So if I'm looking at my function up here, I know that my answer is B. Because the dependent variable y is means equals 4 less than 2 times the x value. All right, number 2, I have this equation 8 minus 4 multiplied by 7x minus 3 equals 100. What is the value of x? So I had to distribute that -4 to each term in the parentheses. -4 times 7x is a -28x, and -4 times -3 is a +12. So that is equal to 100. Then I have to combine my like terms. So 8 plus 12, that's going to be equal to 20 minus 28x equals 100. Then I have to move the constants to one side, so I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides, and I get -28x equals 80. Then I have to divide by a -28, and I get x is equal to -80 over 28, which simplifies to -2 6/7, which is answer choice C. And moving on to number 3, which of the following best describes the number of solutions to the systems of equations represented by the graph? Well, there is one solution here, and that solution would be 0, 2. Because you're looking for the point where they intersect, and if there's only one point where they intersect, like there is here with the 2 lines, that would be a solution to both equations. There will be a question like this on the EOC, pretty much guaranteed. This will be your easiest question of the day. Make sure you get it right. All right, that's it for our bell work.